Hello again, everybody. My name is Miss Katie, and I am a teacher for the Artists in Schools program for the San Joaquin County School District. And today I wanted to do a new art project with you. Now you will need a piece of paper, and you will need crayons. And then you will also need a paper clip. I didn't have a paper clip. I looked everywhere in my house. I couldn't find one. That is quarantine life. I did find this, however, which I felt could be like the friend of a paper clip. It was very similar. So I grabbed this instead. So if you don't have a paper clip in your house, don't despair. That does not mean that you cannot do this project. Go find something similar to a paper clip. And then once you have those three things, your paper, your crayons, make sure you have a black crayon in here. That's very important. And then something similar to a paper clip. Then you are ready to go. All right, so to begin, you want to make sure that you have a few crayons that you grab. And usually it's better to grab a couple lighter colors. That way they provide really good contrast. And then you want to make sure that no matter what, you have that black crayon. So to start with, we are just going to start coloring, and you want to color really, really, really hard. We're just going to start coloring our paper. And the fun part about this is that you can really put your colors anywhere you want. There's no rule about where you can place your colors, only that you just want to make sure that you color them in really, really, really nice and dark. So if you need to, draw it out ahead of time, some people feel better about that, about kind of plotting out where you're going to put your colors and then going back and filling it in. That's okay too. You can see I'm just taking my crayons and I'm just kind of placing color down wherever I want. Make sure that I color really hard. Make sure there's no white spots in between. It's usually a good sign of whether or not you're doing your best coloring. Maybe I'll make this one. Do like a windy one like that. There you go. So you'll notice that when I was going through this, sorry, let me brush off some of my extra. You'll have a lot of extra wax from coloring so hard. I would go back every now and then if I saw a spot where I accidentally left a little bit of white and it wasn't quite dark enough. I'd go back and I'd fill it in, just because you really want to make sure that you do a very, very good job of coloring and making this feel very complete, very whole. And like I said, you can pick any colors you want to. If you want to use something other than what I have, you can also add in other colors, and you can do different patterns with your colors. That's sort of the fun part about it, is that there are just a lot of options for creativity. So once you have this part done, it's time to grab your black crayon. And I mean, at this point, you might want to give your hand a bit of a rest, because sometimes coloring that hard after a while, your little hands might be tired. So once you're ready to continue, you will take your black crayon, and now you will cover everything in black. And I know it seems so sad because you did such a good job coloring all the rest of it, but we are going to cover our entire picture in black. And you want to do the same thing. You want to make sure that you do a good job of coloring nice and solid, that you don't leave spaces where you don't color in. And you're going to go ahead and you're going to do this across the entire picture. Now you can look at this the same way that you looked at the other one. If you see any spots that you're not quite happy with and you'd like to go over, and just make sure that you add a little bit more black on top of them, you can go ahead and do that. I have a couple little spots here and there. Once you have this completed, it might be a good idea to take it, flip it over, give yourself a little test area if you are unsure of what tools you're going to be able to use for this. Sometimes it's good to test out a couple different things first before we start scratching our designs into our pictures. So I wasn't quite sure what would work, and I didn't have any paper clips, so I grabbed a set of tweezers because I had that, and I grabbed this. So we shall see. You want to take whatever tool you have for scratching, and you want to just kind of drag it across. So I see this one might give me some variation. That can give me a nice big line if I want a really thick line. Or I can put it on its side if I want a thin one. That's kind of a nice option. Let's try the tweezers. So if I want to drag the oh, those are nice. And then, let's see. Yeah, you know, I like both of these. Both of these work pretty well. So I'm going to flip my picture over. And now that I have found two tools that work for scratching, I can scratch any kind of picture I want and pull the black off of here. I've been growing a garden lately, so it's making me think about some of my beautiful flowers that I have going on outside right now. And I can kind of decide how much of the black I'd like to remove. You know, maybe I want to leave just a little bit here and there. Maybe in some of the petals. Or I can, you know, I can remove it entirely if I want to. It's nice to leave a little bit sometimes to give yourself some texture. You know, maybe in my leaf I'll leave a little bit of black, or I think the veins of my leaf might be. So you can kind of play around with it. So there it is. When I'm all done, I want to make sure that I put either my name or my initials on the bottom. And there is my reverse drawing. And that is it. I hope you had a great time. I hope you love the picture that you turned out with. And I hope you take the tools that you got from this project and you make more. You make more artwork. Until I see you again, thank you for joining me on the locker.